Yo, what's going on? Now, before we get started with this, before we get started with this video, I just want to apologize for my absence. Between with all this, my Wi-Fi being out and all this, hurricane stuff that I'm currently going through, it's been a lot on the boy. I'm not gonna lie. But now that I got this shit fixed, we're back better than ever now. And so this is part two of what if Mori was in high school with DXD. And without any further ado, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support y'all been showing me while I was away and everything. But without any further ado, let's get into the what if.
I can see the future is looking like we know this. I can't wait to live in glory and eternal justice. Won't you take the wheel? I recognize this. Might as well turn up now. You gon' bump up on the now. See the drums, do you like the way it's
Now, we start this what if off with, if y'all been keeping up, which I know y'all have, and been waiting on my slow behind to upload, if we take it back of what happened, y'all would know that we are currently in the middle of the season right now, where Sir Zerchis and Graphia come, after Zenobia and Mori had their moment, and then they got walked in on by the rest of the team. They report back to the Researcher Club, right? And so Sir Zerchis says that there's going to be a summit coming soon, basically, and he wants everybody to train just in case, because some things can happen. And while he also says that, what is it? He also says that there's a what is it? Hold on, let me think. Hold on, yeah, all right, I got it. Okay, so he also says that Rias needs to feel in that piece, because feeling her piece, because her mutation piece, basically, she has another mutation piece, which is Gasper, aka the vampire. And then that's when he says that she's strong on her own, but it will be more wiser and better to have more teammates available. And plus, sometimes you can't compete in in rating games without a full chess set. So as that happens, Rias understands what she needs to do, and so she basically tells everybody to go start training and do their thing. So this is more like a filler type of what if episode today. And so with that being said, Mori and Issei go off on their own. They go back to Mori's estate, as Mori says he's gonna start training Issei a little bit more harder now, since he noticed that Issei's getting stronger and he likes that, but at the same time he can't allow Issei to be stronger than him. And so that's when Issei was like, I'll never let you, he said, I'll surpass you one day, Mori. He was like, with the power of boobs on my side, I could beat anybody. And then that's when Mori gives like the most deadpan face. And he said, yeah, And so, they began to go over basic drills. They began to start working out, running, doing some calisthenics, some toe touches, trying to build up the core. And they spar with a little with Mori just working on his defense, and Issei working on his offense. So they're pretty much covering all areas right now. And so as that happens, that's when Issei's parents come back, and they're ecstatic about him, Issei and Mori, finally meeting girls. They really weren't worried about Mori, but they were more so worried about Issei because of the pervertness that he displays all the time. And so, they're just really happy how all these girls are, basically falling in love with their perverted son, even though they wish that they would find the better qualities, I guess. And they were confused on how to, Issei managed to pull all this stuff. Honestly, they were like they were like flabbergasted, bro. They were like, how did this perverted man do this? And now, if it was Mori, that would be expected because Mori isn't a pervert, but Issei, my son. And so, they have that, and then that's when Mori's mom begins to cook dinner, right? She begins to cook dinner, and that's when Rias end up teleporting in Issei's room, and she came out of nowhere. But her parents, Issei's parents, really don't know, like, they're magical beings and stuff. And so as Rias was just hanging around along with Asya, and eventually Zenobia shows up, trying to put it on Mori. Not like that, but y'all know what I mean. Everybody hears a knock at the door, and it's Sir Zetchis and Graphia at the door, which is Lucifer, aka Rias's older brother. And so they begin to Sir Zetchis begins to talk to Issei's parents about how Rias is, and they begin to take a like to him and all this other stuff. And Issei's dad begins to make a joke talking about he feels like he's making a deal with the devil. And Mori was like, you just don't know how. He said, you just don't know how accurately head on you hit that on the head. And so that's when Issei was like, yeah, tell me about it. And so they begin to have a nice dinner, and everything is good. And then that's when it was getting kind of late, and then that's when since the estate was so big, Issei decided to sleep in the huge room with Mori and Sir Zetchis, as they all lay on a futon. And then that's when Sir Zetchis is like, how do you like my sister? And then that's when Issei was like, I think she's the most beautiful woman in the world, Sir Lucifer. And then he was like, you don't have to call me that. You don't have to be so formal. And then that's when Mori is like, yeah, all he does is talk about your sister's knockers, man. And then that's when Issei was like, no, I don't. And then that's when Sir Zetchis starts laughing. And then that's when he says that, as long as his feelings and his true intentions and heart is genuine, he just wants Issei to treat her the best that he can, and always protect her. And then that's when he said, and also Mori, he said, I just want you to surpass your grandfather one day, because you're almost at the splitting image of him. And then that's when Mori was like, oh geez, thanks, I wasn't expecting all that. And so and so after that, they begin to go to school, and it's basically like bring your parent to work, not work, bring your parent to school day, basically. And so, as that went like, yawns, jeez, okay, and as that went on, they begin to walk, and then that's when Taijin comes out of nowhere, basically. And that's when Mori's face lights up, talking about, grandfather, you're here, but why? And then that's when Taijin was like, you think I will miss my grandson bring your parents to work day? You're mistaken. And that's when Mori basically becomes a little kid and hugs his grandfather, because since y'all know their bond runs very deep. And so he was like, how's my grandson been doing? He was like, Grandpa, I done a lot of cool things. I gotten stronger now. I mastered the techniques that you do. I'm still not as strong as you, though, but I'm almost there. Hopefully, once I get comfortable with my strength and I feel confident enough in it, like I already am, hopefully I could challenge you and become the next title bearer of the Tiger God of martial arts. And then that's when Taijin was like, well, I'm glad you had a goal, kid. And I'm proud of you for unlocking your true potential and your powers. And so that's when Sir Zetchis was like, Taijin, how you been? And then he was like, Zetch, what's good, my man? And then that's when everybody was like, oh, did he just call him Zetch? And then that's when Sir Zetchis was like, calm down, it's okay. He was like, And then as they were walking, as they were like, walking to school, since, Sir Zed just wanted to be normal, and he appreciated how Issei, no, not Issei, but how Mori was just treating him normal, like, not, basically not kissing the ground that he walks on or kissing ass. He's just treating him like a normal person, like he would do anybody else. And so, as that happens, Taijin basically explains how way back him and Sir Zetches go, and Sir Zetches says that it's a nickname that he got for that he came up with after the basically the Cold War, of the aftermath of the war, when they got transported in, right? It was a Cold War, and then it was at one point all the vampires, the angels, and the devils, and some of the subclasses of the magical creatures were after Taijin. And so they basically try to gang up on him one time, and it did not go to their favor. And so that's how they don't have to agree to it. It's more like a neutral ceasefire, basically, but it's like it's like brewing into like a storm that might turn into a war eventually. And so he just explains how him and Sir Zetches fought each other, and it was a really close match, but Taijin pulled through with the infamous Renua Taekwondo recoilless kick. And as basically Sir Zetches gets like a flashback of what that was, and he gets like this dark cloud. He was like, he said, but after, he was basically like, after I witnessed that move, I decided, he decided to train. So basically, like, everybody is a little bit stronger because, Taijin just fucked the ranks up without magic and used straight hands to do it. And so after that, he basically says that, he's excited to be here, and he has more to teach Mori before he goes off on his journey. And so they arrive at the school. Hold on, water break. I need water. Ooh, that water was hitting. Y'all just like to take a cold, bottle of water and just hit, and it just be hitting different, and you gotta like take multiple sips, man. That's how it is right now. But anyway, as I was saying, they pull up to the school, and they, go to class as, all the parents introduce themselves to, amongst Issei's classmates and Mori's classmates, as, he says that his parents are basically like, his mom is an accountant and his dad is a police officer. And so, everything goes to canon with Sir Zetches saying his thing about Rias and Graphia. And then that's when it was Taijin's turn, as he walks with his bare foot and his, gi, as he was like, the name's Taijin Jin. He said, Mori's my grandson, and I'm a master martial artist. Any martial arts that you thought that were amazing has already been beaten by me. And he said, and that's where I taught Mori the martial arts that I know. And eventually, I want to pass on what I know to him so he could become a master in his own right. And then that's when he flashed the thumbs up, as it basically like did that ink pen thing, the kanjis, as it was like, as you hear that background noise, like, okay. And then that's when everybody's like, whoa. Because like, Mori's grandfather is cool. And, they started talking among themselves. And so, after that, everything pretty much goes to canon on that filler episode, basically. And, Sir Zetches was just talking about, everything. Basically, trying to like prepare him for the summit, as he wanted Issei to get stronger and Mori to get stronger. But he's going to leave that up to Taijin, because Sir Zetches thinks that what he basically thinks that what he has is that, basically what Sir Zetchus has won't basically not be enough to train Mori, since he's well versed in martial arts thanks to Taijin training with him. Most of the time, since Taijin feels like confidently that Sir Zetchus is like probably the only one in Azazel that could give him a good match within a sparring exhibition. Had to take another water break. Oh man, that water's too good. And so he said that he gave everybody like locations to everywhere, and so he just wanted them to go to this land. And but what was different, I'm gonna change this up. What was different is that Mori and Issei tag along with Akano, and everybody pretty much goes off on their own. But before they do that, Rias interjects in saying that she's ready to get her other mutation piece, which is Gasper. And so that's what Sir Zetchus said. He'll leave him up to it, and he'll be back when it's the time for the summit. And so that's when the gray circle appears, and they begin to teleport. And then that's when Taijin said, I guess I'll be taking my leave. Before this summit, Mori, we're going to be going off on a journey. I'm going to train you. And he said, I'm going to teach you another technique that I learned and perfect. And once you learn this technique, I feel like you'll virtually be unbeatable. And so that's when Mori was getting pumped up. And then that's when Taijin was like, other than that, take care. And then that's when it looked like he seemingly disappeared. But as soon as the wind caught up, it was just like blowing everything away. As Mori was like, my, he's so cool. As Mori was like, I wish I learned that technique. Hopefully I get to ask him about it. He teaches me before he retires. And then that's when Issei was like, that's what you're worried about right now? How he moved so fast while he almost blew away the whole room and destroyed half the house? Basically, we have to research a cult club. And then that's Mori was like, put his thumbs up like Taijin did at the bring your parent to school day, as he gives the thumbs up. And then that's when the kanji symbol, he's like, yes. And so after that they go back to the school late at night, and Akano puts up like a barrier just in case. And then that's when Rias begins to take she takes she takes the caution tape off the door. And then that's when Gasper no, not yet, but they walk in the room, and then they see red eyes as Gasper basically is hiding in the box, as Rias was like telling him to come out. And then that's when Gasper noticed Issei and Mori, more so Mori, as Gasper popped up off the box, and then he ran straight towards Mori, with Mori like catching it, but he almost didn't catch it. But that's why he had his guard up, as Mori was like, well, aren't you a fast fellow? And then Gasper was like, he started sniffing him. He was like, you smell like bananas and strawberries. And then Mori was like, well, that is my favorite fruits. And then they, both got excited. And then they began to talk about, all types of fruits. And then Rias is just astonished about how Mori was able to get, him out the box so quick. And then that's when Mori was like, something doesn't seem quite right about this. He was like, Gasper, are you cosplaying as a girl? And then that's when Gasper got, shy and blushed. He was like, well, how did you know? He was like, well, I could kind of see through it. He was like, I have special eyes like you. You see, but these eyes allows me to tell if somebody's telling the truth, or if somebody's lying to me, or what's real and fake. But I feel like he said they're also not at their full power as they should be yet. But, once I get there, I can see through all. And then that's when Gasper was like, wow, you're so cool. And then that's when Issei was like, hell yeah, man, welcome to the team. He was like, if you need anything from Big Bro Issei or Mori, just let us know, because we're going to teach you how to be a man. And then he said, starting with the first thing, you're not going to dress like that. And then Gasper was like, but I feel comfortable with it. He was like, now, Issei, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Another water break, hold on. Oh my goodness, this water is so good. Okay. And so, he said, let's not get too ahead of himself. He was like, he has to warm up, and plus we have to train him. He was like, because he might not be able to control his powers like he should be able to. And so as that happens, Gasper was, kind of pumped up. And then that's when he apologizes to Rias for giving her such a hard time. And, Rias forgives them as they begin to walk out the room. That's when Gasper tugs on Mori's shirt. And then he said, Mori, can you and Issei train me to be stronger? Because I want to do everything I can to help Rias. And, just be the best piece that I can be. And Mori was like, of course, I'll train you. He was like, I never had a little brother before, but, that's what Issei's kind of like, since, Issei is older than me, but, I have more of the mature side locked down. And that's when Issei was like, hey, take that back. And then that's when he took out the booster gear. And then that's when Mori was like, oh, so you're trying to start this already, huh? He was like, your training isn't complete, but if you want to get beaten that badly, that's when he said, Yue, come to me. And Yue just, summoned in his hand as the loop of binding came. And, they basically play fight like anime. And then the camera pans up to the sky. Now, we cut to a different dimension where we see a peculiar person that we all know, Val Lucifer. I think that is the white dragon, Val Lucifer. Correct me if I'm mistaken. But, yeah, he spectates as he and another, basically it was Val and like 4 other major shadowy figures as they were basically, watching Val's last fight with Mori and Issei doing like a double team up, like Frieza and Goku versus Jiren style, as he was like he was like, I can handle the red dragon. The red dragon isn't a problem, but him is him. Does he have any correlation to you and what you are? Because if I'm not mistaken, that looks like the loop of binding to me. And then the mysterious shadow said, I don't know who he is, but if he's false claiming to be the Monkey King, it's not gonna look good for him. As we all know who this is. And so he also had like Yue, but it's like a different version. It's called the Jinpu Bang, I think. It's basically like Yue. They're both Yue, but called different names. And so he said he doesn't deserve that title. I'm the true Monkey King. He was like, I'm the successor of the Monkey King. And when when everything goes down and happens again, I'll be there to show up. And then that's when the white dragon holder was like, glad to hear it. And then that's when he disappears, and then he teleports on top of the roof with his wings all out, saying, the summit is coming. He said, I'll see you soon again, Red Dragon. And as for you, I'll make sure I handle you too, you damn monkey. Oh, that sounded kind of racist, not gonna lie. But y'all know who we talking about. We're talking about Mori. And so, as that happened, the next day comes, and they basically begin to train. After they eat breakfast, they begin to train. At first, they try to tell Gasper how to control his powers and stop time, but he can't do it. And so he gets frustrated at himself that he can't do it. So Mori decides to help him and says, think of it as a microwave, right? He said, no, you know what, better yet, think of it as, trying to freeze something, okay? He said, you're pretty good at science, right? And Gasper was like, yes. And then he said, what's the freezing point of water? And he says, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And he said, now what's the coldest state of, of anything? He said, absolute zero. Good. He said, now, try to think of it like this, think of it like everybody moving at, like a normal temperature, okay? Now pretend you're a thermometer. Lower that temperature with your power. So let's try it with the balls, okay? And he said, now try 40. And so Mori threw the ball, and the ball began to slow to a stop, and then it just stops in midair, and then that's when it dropped. He says, drop it, and then he dropped it. He was like, that's good, good. He said, now we're gonna pick it up a little faster. So, try 32, go. And so that's when Gasper got caught off guard, and so he stopped it dead in his face. He was like, good, good, good. He was like, now I want you to try to freeze me. You ready? And then that's when Gasper said, I don't want to hurt you. And he's like, you're not gonna hurt me. He said, I promise. He said, I've been through way worse things than, time, pauses and time manipulations. I was like, I kind of got used to it after a while. He said, but other than that, I'm going to hit you, and I want you to stop. And after you stop, move to another place to be safe, okay? And then Gasper was like, all right. And then that's when Issei was like, now, Gasper, are you ready? He was like, and then he said, after that, if you perfect this, then I want you to help me train too. And then Gasper was like, okay, right. And so that's when Mori was like, here we go. And so he winds his fist up and, throws the fist at Gasper. But Gasper thinks about absolute 0, 0, 0, 0. And then everything freezes. And then that's when Gasper, stood next to Issei and then broke the time spell. And then everything resumed. And then that's when Mori was like, wow. And then that's when he sped towards Gasper at the last second, changing his trajectory. But Gasper, again, time stopped and then moved to another location. And then that's when Mori was like, good job. You officially learned how to control your powers. And then that's when Gasper was really excited. And, he was like, he was really thankful that they taught him. And so, after that, they go back inside to talk, and then Rhea says that, everything is almost here, but before we go, we're going to need some last-minute preparations. And then that's when Michael, the Archangel, comes saying greetings, and he needs to take Mori, Issei, and Akano to the shrine of her fathers. And then Michael was like, as long, I know you don't want to go there, Akano, but for the summit's sake, you need to be there to get your remainder of your power. And there's a special item for Issei there too. Maybe to help you compete with the White Dragon next time you guys run into each other. And then that's when Issei was like, all right, I'm going to get a badass power. And then that's when, as they step inside Michael's magic circle, they begin to teleport over there. And that's where I'm going to be leaving off this What If. Oh my gosh. I just want to thank y'all so much for just being here, man. It was tough times. I'm not going to lie. It was really tough out there. But I got the Wi-Fi back. Everything good and clean and crispy. I will be starting a trade school next week, so my upload schedule might be tighter than usual, but I will be back on the grind and push more What If contents. I apologize for the delay. There was some things that was really out of my control, but hopefully this makes it up for all the lost time. And I hope y'all enjoy the gameplay. I hope, if y'all don't like the gameplay, I will switch back to doing the gameplay and adding the pictures. But I just wanted to test something out with this. But, let me know what y'all think of this what if, what y'all want me to add, who y'all want Mori to be with. And, I appreciate all y'all for all the love and support. And I'm out. And don't forget to tune in with that Gojo X Young Justice, man. Because that shit finna get fired real quick. But besides that, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support, man. We on the road to 100 subscribers. Let's get to 50 subs, and I will be dropping a movie on the next weekend for Mori season 1, so y'all can look forward to that. Or I'll just basically do like a movie and a recap to where we up to now with Mori. But I appreciate all y'all for all the love and support, man. It was a short what if. It's more of a filler, but we're gonna get in the meat of the potatoes and the battles and the fights the next time. So just stay tuned for that, man. But other than that, I love all y'all. Thank y'all for sticking with me. And other than that, I'm gonna get out y'all hairs. Y'all have a good day, and I'm gonna let this outro play. Peace.